Donald Trump. A historical tour born in Queens, New York City on June 14, 1946, Donald John Trump is a politician, businessman, and television personality. From 2017 to 2021, he was the 45th President of the United States. He has had both success and scandal throughout his life, and he remains a divisive figure in American and international affairs. Examining Donald Trump's early life, economic endeavors, ascent to political prominence, presidency, and post-presidential influence is crucial to comprehending his legacy. Childhood and schooling. The Trump family had 5 children, with Donald Trump being the fourth. Fred Trump, his father, was a real estate developer who constructed and oversaw middle-class homes in the boroughs of New York City. Trump, whose family was well off, went to Queens' Q Forest School before enrolling at the New York Military Academy in 1959 at the age of 13. Trump honed his leadership abilities at this academy. After 2 years at Fordham University, Trump transferred to the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, where he graduated with a degree in economics in 1968. His subsequent commercial and real estate ventures would be shaped by this schooling as well as the influence of his father. Career in business, real estate, and other fields. Donald Trump assumed control of his father's real estate company in 1971 and changed its name to the Trump Organization. From residential buildings in Brooklyn and Queens to prestigious properties in Manhattan, he extended the company's operations. The Commodore Hotel's transformation into the Grand Hyatt Hotel in 1980 was his first significant accomplishment. Trump's image as an astute real estate developer was bolstered by this project. The Trump Tower in New York City, which became his iconic structure, was the most notable of Trump's extensive portfolio of hotels, casinos, and office buildings constructed in the 1980s and 1990s. With economic endeavors in areas like Atlantic City, where Trump constructed many casinos, and abroad, where he looked for alliances in nations like South Korea and Dubai, his empire grew globally. Trump's business success wasn't without difficulties either. His businesses experienced severe financial problems in the 1990s, which resulted in restructuring and bankruptcies. Trump maintained his position as a major player in the economic world and was renowned for his bold approach and will to succeed despite these losses. Career in television. The Apprentice Donald Trump made his television debut in 2004 on the reality program The Apprentice. The program, which had competitors vying for a position in Trump's company, was a huge success. Trump's famous slogan, "You're fired," solidified his image as a strong, no-nonsense businessman. The show, which aired for 14 seasons, greatly increased Trump's public profile and contributed to his rise to fame. Political ascent. The path to the White House. Trump had been considering a bid for public office for a long time. He first alluded to a presidential bid in 1987, but he didn't formally declare his intention to run until 2015. Trump launched one of the most peculiar presidential campaigns in American history on June 16, 2015, when he declared his intention to run as a Republican. Trump's direct style, outsider status, and pledges to "Make America Great Again," MAGA, were hallmarks of his campaign. He positioned himself as a candidate who would take on the political establishment by appealing to the annoyances of many Americans who felt left behind by economic changes and globalization. His firm stance on national security, trade, and immigration won over millions of people. Trump surprised everyone by defeating a big field of seasoned politicians, including well-known names like Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush, during the primaries. He challenged former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton, the Democratic contender, in the general election. On November 8, 2016, Trump became the 45th President of the United States after winning the electoral vote despite being the underdog. Despite losing the popular vote, he won important battleground states, including Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The presidency, a novel period. On January 20, 2017, Trump took office, and controversy surrounded his government right from the start. He made several important policy adjustments such as immigration. Trump adopted a tough stance on immigration, which included banning travel to several nations with a majority of Muslims and trying to erect a wall along the US-Mexico border. Tax reform. In an effort to boost the economy, Trump signed a tax reform measure in 2017 that reduced corporate tax rates and offered individual tax breaks. Deregulation. In order to promote economic expansion, his administration aimed to loosen government rules, especially in the financial and environmental domains. Foreign policy. Trump eschewed participation in multilateral accords like the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal in favor of an America First foreign policy. To close the U.S. trade deficit, he also started trade conflicts, especially with China. Impeachment. In 2019, Trump was accused of abusing his position of authority and obstructing Congress in connection with his actions in Ukraine, making him the third president in American history to be impeached by the House of Representatives. Early in 2020, the Senate cleared him. Many Americans viewed Trump as a champion of the working class during his highly contentious presidency, while others denounced his words and deeds as detrimental to democracy and civil rights. Political divisiveness was further exacerbated by his handling of the COVID-19 epidemic in 2020, particularly his denial of the situation. Election in 2020 and the post-presidency, Donald Trump challenged former Vice President Joe Biden for re-election in 2020. In the November 3, 2020 election, Biden defeated Trump in the Electoral College and the popular vote. Despite the lack of evidence, Trump and many of his supporters asserted that widespread voting fraud caused the election to be stolen. Trump and his supporters attempted unsuccessfully to have the election results overturned through legal challenges after losing. To stop the certification of the election results, a group of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Trump is the only president in American history to be impeached twice as a result of this incident. The Senate once again cleared him. When Joe Biden was sworn in on January 20, 2021, Trump stepped down. He has continued to be a significant player in Republican politics ever since, frequently garnering media attention for his remarks in support of political candidates. In order to maintain his name in the national spotlight, Trump has also made references to the prospect of running for president again in 2024. Legacy. The legacy of Donald Trump is still controversial. Proponents contend that his presidency focused on American interests abroad, produced much-needed economic growth, and took a firm stand on national security. His detractors claim that his polarizing speech, disrespect for democratic norms, and approach to important issues like racial relations and climate change are harmful to the long-term viability of the country. Regardless of one's stance on his leadership, Donald Trump has unquestionably had a significant impact on American history and politics. His tale of unreserved ambition, political insurgency, and self-made wealth makes him a character whose impact will continue to affect the conversation for years to come.